Hey everyone, welcome to the second Epic Games Mega Jam devlog, and I'm going to be showing you the progress that I've made today. If you haven't seen it already, I put out a devlog yesterday, and you can see the progress that I made yesterday and compare it to today. Everything is still in placeholder. I have some new devices that I want to show you. I've expanded the level a lot. I'm pretty much done with the level. Tomorrow I'll be doing the art pass, the sound pass, and polishing up everything. Let's walk through what I did today. So first of all, you'll see that I've got this kind of ray gun, and it's just a prototype. I can shoot a single beam out. This was in yesterday, but I have the actual beam particle effect showing now, and of course, placeholder. I also have a more consistent beam, and this is for when you pick up physics objects and want to move them consistently. In terms of the first area, there are a few changes in that direction, but mostly everything here is the same. So I really want to keep in this traditional platforming area, as it's a really good comparison where this is the player abilities and isolating what the player can do. And over here we get into what you can do for your character. So I should have made that before. So back there, what I meant actually, this is what the character in the game can do, and over here, these devices are what the player can interact with. And yesterday I had a box dispenser here, which dropped boxes down and you could use them to get to greater heights. And I received some really great feedback on that, and I came up with a better solution. And that's to use what I developed yesterday, just before I made the video, where I managed to get the physics pickup objects moving on single axis, and that's because I made a physics system that works really well. So what we can do now, instead of awkwardly moving these boxes around and trying to get the character up to places, we can use these devices and simply jump off or move off them. And I really like these floating platforms that you can move up and down. They're really efficient, they make a lot of sense, anyone can figure it out and move them. And they're fun to put around the level. So these ones, obviously, they move up and down, and we have these ones over there that can move left to right. And I really enjoyed putting in these areas where you can get bolts on the side. Of course, in the Game Jam version, the bolts won't really mean anything. If I was to develop this into something like a full game, I'd love to do something like in Mario Odyssey, where they have it so you can purchase like different outfits for your character and stuff like that. This area, I changed it up a bit. It's like a ramp area. You can step up the ramps and move up them, or you can just jump up them, and it was pretty nice. This is the start of me teaching the player about the sliding mechanic, and I wanted to do it in a really safe area. So say you're playing and you're not very familiar with it, or you're not that great at platformers and you fall off, I didn't want the player to keep on dying and having to walk up. Keep on dying and respawning. So it's a lot easier to introduce this in a safe way where you simply walk up this platform and you get to try again, and it's not very punishing. And a lot of this stems from the kind of Mario level design. This is the introduction to one of the very basic enemies in the game, and this complements this area very well because a lot of what you're doing here is learning about jumping, moving, and moving whilst using these objects. And you'll see that in play in the area just ahead. This is just a little side area, so you got like this kind of bridge here where you can collect the bolts. And I wanted to make use of the player looking around. In a straightforward game like this, it'd be very easy to make everything just in front of you. I like to have areas where you have to look up and around and interact with things, and not just limit the player to directly what's in front of their eyes. This is where we get a bit of danger. It's possible for the player to die here and lose in this section. And it's not too difficult, but it's a nice introduction to some danger. And just having this gap here alone makes you consider your actions a lot more. This is a massive development in which it's a lot trickier because there are these enemies now in addition to the gap. So I'm combining all the elements, and there's also a few challenges, like you can get those bolts over there. and I tried to make this a safe area so you can assess the situation. Once again, I have an area over here where you can collect bolts. We can collect bolts over here, or you can just go straight on the path. You also notice that if you get to this bit, you'll still have to jump over the blast. So this area is, the player has to be really engaged. So let's try this out. Wait for it, jump. Now we can get this. And there we go, we get past it. And over here, the solution for this bit up here, you just move that platform over, you move that up, and you can collect the bolts. So that's quite nice. Just fun little bonus things for people who are interested in playing a bit further. And this is the final area. So I'm still building this area. The other areas I'm very happy with. I only put this together at the end of tonight. So at the end of the night, I should say. And the idea here is that there's a bit of a challenge in getting these buttons. So I'm planning on making this a bit more challenging. But for now, this is kind of like the basic layout. So you can just go up here, wait for the blast, or you can jump over it. You collect, or you activate this device, and then you simply have to get to the other side and activate the other device. So it's not too difficult, it's pretty easy. And that's why this area is still in development. This was one of the last areas that I blocked out, whereas the other areas I spent a lot more time on. And same thing with the enemies. These were only added in about an hour ago, so I've still got to tweak all the values. But it's really fun to add in all the enemies and all the kind of different ways to play using the physics devices. And at the end of the level we have the Orb of Light. Now this is part of the win condition and it will tie into the theme. So everything you see now is kind of all the base mechanics that are needed for the game jam. And what I'm going to be doing tomorrow is incorporating the theme into the game a lot more and building on top of the world. So instead of just having this block out, we're going to have some nice graphics. So putting a lot of the art assets in. I'm also going to be getting all the sound effects going, hopefully get the music, and just polish everything up really nicely. If everything goes really well, I'm going to make sure this area plays extremely well, because I'd rather have one amazing area than like 3 average ones. And if everything goes well, I'd love to make a second area and expand upon the mechanics a bit. But yeah, this is what I've been doing all of today. I'm really happy with the progress I've made and how all the physics works and all the kind of like platforming challenges. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration of the devlog for the Mega Jam. This is the second one. If you're wondering how long I've been working on this for, the jam started on Friday, last Friday, and I worked most of Friday, but I actually wasn't working on this the whole time. Originally I was trying to make an FPS. I scrapped that really early and I worked on this. I worked for a couple of hours on Saturday, I worked most of Sunday night, and yesterday is when I really started working. So there's like a rough estimate, like Saturday I worked on it for like 3 hours, Sunday 5 or 6 hours, Friday all of the day, or most of the day, Monday all of the day, and today all of the day. So it's really yesterday and today where I made all the progress in Unreal, and Monday was more making this little guy, giving him these animations. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you all again so much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow.